Okay, so this is day 12, and I haven't made a video for 3 days, partly because I couldn't really find like a good moment for it, and I didn't really feel to make one. And I also had some storage issue on my phone, as well as no Wi-Fi connection to upload it. So I think I may have to wait actually to upload this one, but I'm doing it already. So yeah, so 3 days ago when I was in Laon. Yeah, I just went to have a little tour of the city, and so yeah, it's like a medieval city, and I visited the cathedral and worked around the. It's a very like little city center, and yeah, like I kind of thought a little bit about going out at night and try and meet some people, but I actually felt to stay at the end and just have the quiet end of day. So that's what I did, and yeah, I had a pretty restful night. And in the morning, when I woke up, I went downstairs with my backpack, and they gave me some breakfast, and I talked a little bit with the priest and the woman who is helping with the kitchen and the cooking. And yeah, we talked a little bit about walks, as she likes to walk, and so I showed her like the itinerary I was I was planning to follow that day, and then they packed some lunch for me, nice lunch and fruits. So that was very nice, and then I left. I think it was almost 10 in the morning, and I was actually planning to like the work was like 36 kilometers, and yeah, what I didn't know actually. First of all, it was a very sunny day, and also it was a walk with like almost no trees, and I had no sun protection, so I actually catched sunburns, and but I was like really fired up, and I think I made like probably like 20 between 20 and 25 kilometers before stopping for lunch, just like a 5 minute pause, probably after 2 hours. And so I ate. It was, I think, yeah, like between 1:30 and 2, and then I just continued. And yeah, like one of the things at the moment is that actually my shoes are not really like the best shoes. They're like kind of cheap shoes, and they're also quite a few years old, and they're not really like, they're more like for high mountain, so not the best for like road walking and stuff. And so my feet, like the bottom of my feet hurts quite a bit actually. So when I arrived, I was almost like unable to walk, and but yeah, I stopped in a little town at the entry of the city, and I thought like, because that's something I haven't done a lot yet, and I was thinking maybe I can just like enter in a cafe and ask a little bit around. So I did that in the first one, and then in the second one, and yeah, after that I decided to go to the city, which was like 3 kilometers farther. And on the way, I actually had a very kind of like miraculous evening after that. And it started, so I was working, and I saw a bench, and I kind of like felt like prompt to stop, and because I was starting to think about maybe having some food. So even before reaching the bench, I saw like a snack right in front, and I felt to enter and ask. And it's the second time I do that, and the second time they actually offer me food without. I just explained them like that I'm traveling south, and that I'm traveling with no money, and the guy just offered me like a panini and fries, and so I just ate it and thanked them, and I went on to the city, and yeah, I met a woman on the way, and she just because she seemed nice, so I asked her like about a place where I could sleep, and she told me she had just like gotten out of like she went like for a drink with a friend of her, and that there were some bars with music, and that I could probably find something there. So I just went on, and kind of started like taking the road where there were like different bars, and then I saw a family, and they were actually from London. It was an English family, and I didn't know that, but I started talking with them, and they were actually on a campsite, and so they asked me if I had a tent, because if I had a tent, I could have like put it like next to where they were staying, and but they were very nice as well, and they just told me they were coming from a bar where there was like a lot of people my age, so I went there, and went to the barman, and asked him if I could like just take a beer and sit down and um, ask like discreetly, kind of ask around to some people, and he told me he wasn't really like feeling. Um, oh yeah, I actually forgot something, because right before that, I actually asked for younger, I think two couples like in beginning of their 30s, and there was like a child, and so I asked them if they knew where I could sleep, and so they were like, oh, we are not from here, but yeah, like if you were, we would have hosted you, and then they asked me, because they were just like getting out of kind of a restaurant, and one of the girls was like, oh, have you eaten? It was like, yeah. I told them about what happened before, and she was like, oh, because if you hadn't, I would have like bought you food, and we talked a little bit, and then like after a few minutes, they asked me if I needed money, and so I told them like, well, it's like if you want to give me some, you can, but it's really up to you, and she actually gave me 20 euros, and another of the guys there gave me 6 euros, so I thought, yeah, like I can go, and after that I was like, I can use that money and buy beer, and ask. So in the bar, the guy told me that he wasn't really feeling for me to ask around, because the day before they had actually like a guy coming, and there was like a whole thing going on, and him getting angry, and actually it ended up with the police coming and everything. But yeah, he offered me the beer, so I just sat down, drank the beer, and then I actually had spotted another bar, because they were closing, and so I went to that bar, and I did the same thing. I asked the barman, and she said, yeah, no problem. So I just sat down, and there was like a guy in front of me, and I asked him, and so he was the first person I asked in that bar, and I think he was probably around my age, and